Mr. Irontrader. It is Thursday morning. So I'm going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. We'll look at them, both of them, on a daily and also on a weekly chart. Now, the API number came out yesterday, and you had a build in crude oil. So let's just see what's going to happen here at 11 o'clock when the EIA report comes out here for crude oil, and at 10:30 will be the natural gas EIA report. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock, buy the ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Here we have first on the docket, we have old Bitcoin. Now you can see here how Bitcoin was still in this downtrending situation after this double top. Okay, so we had this negative divergence played out very, very nicely, and now we're circling on the bottom. The green is still below your red, so it shows momentum to the downside. Let's just take a peek here. Okay, yesterday we got back above that 8-day, which is very, very good. We made a high of 113,215. So what we're looking at is a high right here of 113,390. Okay, so we never made up. That was your resistance level. Now your next level would have been right there at 113,540, but obviously we didn't make it up to there. Now today so far we put in a lower low and a lower high. That's really not good, and we're below this 8-day. You can see where the 8-day was curling up. Now it's coming on the way back down again. Okay, so what we're watching on the downside, we're watching this 111,280. That's your 8-day simple moving average. If we lose that, we're going to come around to today's low. Your next support level is the 110,730 level. All right. Then your next level going to come down here is 110,420. And then we come to the bottom at 109,590. And we have 108,845. We have 108.20 level, and we have 107.790, and then here's the big boy is going to be this 107.841. Now you can see how the 8-day is, 100-day is moving up nicely. The 200-day is moving up nicely. So let's just see how it all shakes out. But what I don't like is see how this 21-day, you cross over that 50-day, it's going to become very, very strong resistance if this can run higher. Now, so far on the weekly, we're holding this 108.246 level, and that's what we need to hold by Friday. That's going to be very, very critical. Now, again, this is still a very, very bullish chart. Even if the price comes all the way down to the 50-day, this is still a very, very bullish chart because we have low, higher low, and we would have a higher low situation. Okay, so don't get too excited. We're just looking for opportunities, especially in this time frame. That's going to be the key. Now, again, we got to get back and close the back above this 111,280 level. If we can, then we'll look right to the top of that candle. You're looking at 112,410 level. Then what we'll do is we'll come up to today's high, 112,840 level. Then we'll come up to 113,215, 113,390, 113,540, and then we'll be looking for that 50-day right there, 114,771. That would be your next level, and then we have your 21-day right above it at 115,28 level. Now, again, we have this here on a weekly chart. You have that key support at 108,246 on your 21-day, and we have this 115,262 level on your 8-day, which is just above your 50-day and 21-day here on your daily chart. So let's just say what you have to do. Let's be a little bit patient kind of a situation. We popped right up, you notice that, and it did look like it was going to explode up, and it came all the way down. Same way with here, with this situation, came all the way, big red candle. But if you look at this pattern right here, what we had is a bear flag situation. Then it played out very, very nicely. And now we're having pretty much the same similar kind of an action. So let's just see if it can come all the way on down. Now, if it does come all the way down to that 107,839, that'd be a good buying opportunity to take it long again to run this back up kind of a situation. Unless we start losing that 100 SMA, well, then that's not going to be a good situation. The key is let it come down and see if it can hold the situation. That's going to be very, very key. So right now for today, what we want to watch is we want to watch that 8-day. 111,262. That's going to be very, very critical. If we lose that and it keeps right on running down, we want to watch that 100-day at 107,839. This is also going to be key at 108,239 before we hit that 100 SMA here. On the upside, we want to watch yesterday's high. That's going to be key, 113,215. We follow these candles, but your big target is going to be that 114,768 level. That is going to be your 50-day simple moving average. So just be a little bit patient with this, especially in a time frame. Eventually, I think this goes much higher, but right now this is just a trading situation. I use BITX for the trade. Works out very, very nice. Scalped it, I don't know how many times yesterday, I think 2 times, 3 times yesterday. And then you also have the IBIT, which is also a good trading vehicle. All right, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Here we have gold and silver. Now you can see here how a really nice run that we've had. It came right on up. What we're looking for is a breakout above that 35.34 level, which we obviously had. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, you'll notice I always point out these blue lines, which are just price channels. And when it starts getting to the outside of those price channels, the price wants to come on in. So yesterday we had this 36.40. So we're down this area here. I just said we have to watch a couple key levels. Was bottom line was this 35.09, and then obviously the breakout at 35.34 level. But I said you're going to be going to that 36 level, then 36.20 level, and then we keep on going. You go to 36.50. Now it didn't quite make there, but it got right in between that situation. But when you have this overbought condition, always going to be a little bit careful. Now I'm not saying it can't go to overbought here, but if you just look at the past, as it gets to that overbought condition, it wants to pull right back in. The same way with the condition here, it wants to pull right back in, and that's what we're doing here again. Okay. Now the green is over red, showing good momentum, and it had very good momentum. Yesterday was a really, really good trade. I've been trading the GLD, not holding it. I mean, I probably should have just held it, but I just trade it because I'm not really a gold or silver trader. But when I can see it moving, then I just get myself right in there on the trade. I use GLD for the gold, SLV for the silver. Now, what we're really watching on the top side is watching at 36.40. Okay, so again, we crack above it, and 36.50 is going to be target, and you work your way up to 3,700 very, very easily. Okay, but so far we have this red candle with a lower high and a lower low. So what we're really watching, watch the bottom of that candle right there. Okay, you're looking at that 35.92 level, and then we'll look to today's low at 35.73, and then we'll just reverse all of this at 35.34 level. That's what we're going to be watching. And then we'll watch that 8-day at 35.14. We have your 21-day 34.46, and then your 50-day at 33.95. So everything is lined up very nice. But again, even if it comes down here and holds that 8-day, that would still be a good buying opportunity here to take it long. But always remember, when it starts getting outside that price channel, it wants to come in. Here's another example here, like on the silver situation. Okay, it got on the side, it wants to come back in, gets on the outside, comes back in, and we're doing the same exact thing here again. Okay, so that's why these price channels that work out really handy. They almost act like Bollinger Bands, except I think they're just way more accurate because they're tops and bottoms of candles. But again, it also shows you when you get outside that perimeter, it wants to come back in and pours that 8 simple moving average. So for today, what you really want to watch on the upside is that 36.40. That's your big breakout, but we did have like a topping tail yesterday, so just be a little bit careful. On the downside, you want to watch that 35.39 level. We want to make sure that we hold that, and obviously we want to hold that 35.14 level. Okay, silver, same thing. Got to an overbought condition here. Now it's rolling over. Your green is over your red. Had a really, really nice run up. We were watching the bottom of this candle. Top of that candle at 39.91. And then I said, well, if it's going to go, it's going to go 40, and it's going to go 42. The top of this candle hit 41.995. Yesterday, we just had this top indecision candle, 42.29 level. So again, on the upside, what we're watching is right here. You're looking at that 41, just call that 42 level, and then we're going to call at that 42.29. You crack above that, then we'll go to that 42.50. But realistically, you're heading probably towards that 45 level, okay? But obviously, right now, not right now, this second. So again, lower high and lower low. So we're watching the bottom of yesterday's candle. Same thing as like we had the gold, okay, 41.46. And then today's low, okay, you're looking at 41.11. And come to the bottom of this candle at 40.55, and then we have that 40.25. That is going to be your 8-day simple moving average. We lose it. Obviously, you have 38.29, and then we have 38.21. Everything is lined up very nicely, just like we have on the gold, okay? So watch your breakout levels, 42.29, 36.40. That's your breakout. Close above that, you can obviously be going higher. On the downside, just be careful with this because, see, as it gets to that outside of that perimeter of that price channel, it wants to come right back in. So let's just see how this goes. Maybe have a little sideways action. All right, let's take a look here now at crude oil. Here we have the crude oil, your daily and your weekly. Now, there was they were expecting a nice draw of about 3.4 million barrels, and it came in at a build on crude there. It wasn't much build, but 0.67 roughly barrels. And this time of the year, after that summer driving, Labor Day, that's not really good. So let's see what the EIA report says there at 11 o'clock. Now, another thing is that OPEC is meeting, and we don't know if they're going to be adding on more oil onto the market, but obviously all the volunteer cuts, that's long gone. They're originally going to add 541,000 barrels per day here in September. So we got to see how that's all going to shake out if they're going to bump that up. Okay, so what do we have? Obviously, when you see that, it comes all the way on down. Okay, so yesterday we had a red candle, but it was an inside day. Today is a definitely below the situation. So today we made this low of 62.87. So all you got to do is look to the right to the left of the chart here. You had 62.95. That was your support level. It got a little bit below it. Your next level of support is going to be that 62.52. And then we have 61.83, and then we have 61.45. We lose that, then we're going to come to your big target. It's going to be right here to the left of the chart. It's going to be that 59.74 level. Okay, just that simple. Now, I still think that by the end of the year here, you're definitely going to be down in the 50s. I just think you're building up a pretty good sized glut with the crude oil, and you just don't have that much demand for what you got going on there. Okay, so on the upside, what we're watching, you have to get back above that 21-day 63.60. You have to get 64.08. That's your 8-day. And then we have your 64.38. That's your 100-day. That's going to be all your resistance upside targets. We get above that, we can go to that 50 SMA. But now you can see how strong that 50-day is. This is why you trade the charts. Went right up in above it. Couldn't get it. Couldn't close above it. Same thing here. And then yesterday, big red candle. And now we're making that lower low situation. You're only sitting at 44. That's plenty of room. That's not overbought or oversold. The green is over your red for right now. But let's see how that shakes out. Now we have this weekly chart, which I always like to show you. Okay, so basically we're looking all the way down to this 55.30 level. Actually, come down here to this 55.12 situation right down there. Okay, so if you can come all the way down to 55.12. But we start losing that here. You've got a big targets all the way down here. That's not what I'm saying it's going to go, but I'm just thinking it's going to get into that 50 range. Okay, so what we're looking here for is we're looking at the bottom of this candle here. That's going to be key. This is going to be that 61.45 level. And we come down here to that 59.74, which is basically right there. Okay. So when you look at this weekly chart, you can see here where you have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You have a downtrending situation, okay, on your daily chart. See this? Very, very clear downtrending. There's nothing that's bullish about this. Basically, it's a trade. Now, again, when we had this inverse head shoulders pattern, okay, right here, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder, I said it's going to go to that 200-day. That's where it went, right to that 200-day, okay? This is that war premium, okay? So you can never really kind of factor it in because you just don't know. But anytime you have that big spike up like that, this is what the result is once they get the problem solved. So always, always remember that. But right now, this is why I want to show you the weekly. You have a downtrending situation. And if it keeps right on rolling down, we're going to watch it at 55.30, 55.12 level. We lose that, then you're going to come down 53, 50, 47, and you come all the way down to the 43 level. Now, again, that's not where I'm saying it's going to go. What I'm saying is I say that's always a possibility. So always watch that weekly when you can see that downtrending situation. That's this a trading stock until you can get, say, back above this key 200-day. Then you would reverse that trend. Then we can take it back up. But right now, it just looks very, very not too good here, especially this time of year going into the winter scenario here. So again, just watch that 21-day on the upside, the 8-day and the 100-day. We get above that, 50 days your target. On the downside, watch this key level. Okay, you're looking at that 62.95 on a closing basis. If not, we just follow 62.52. 61.83, but you're looking for that 61.45 retest. Then we have to see what happens once you get there. Does it blast through there, or does it double bottom and then rally right back up? All right, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Here we have natural gas. All right, really nice, good trading. Now, again, we have this downtrending situation. Okay, so even if you get above this 50-day, we still have a downtrending situation. Okay, so always remember, look at the charts. Okay, so here we have on the weekly scenario, you can see here downtrending situation. All right, so what we're really watching here today is right there is that a 50-day at 3.138 and 3.14. Let's just call that 3.14 level. This is what we're watching. You have to get and close above that. Okay, if we do, then we can look here to the left of the chart here. You're looking at that 319 level. Okay, and then we can look here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 321, and then we look to the top of there at 326, and then we can come up to your 100-day at that 330 level. Okay, but again, you have to get and close above this key level at that 50-day simple moving average. All right. Now, what I do like about this is see how this 8-day now crossed above that 21-day. Okay, that's always very, very bullish. So even if that price comes down, holds that 8-day, that's going to provide very good support, like it's done here, like it's done there. Okay, if it holds that, then that's going to be a good buying opportunity here to take this long. Okay, so that's what we want to watch. Now, on the downside here, what we want to watch is obviously is today's low. That's at 306 level. We'll come down here at that 302 level. We can come to the top of that candle, you're looking at that 296. But realistically, this is what you're looking at is that 293 and that 290. Those are your key levels of support. Now, we had a lot of nice green days, a lot of really nice, good trading here in the natural gas. Now, I use UNG for the long, KLD for the short. Okay, so this was a very good two-way trade to this situation. Once we jumped above that 8-day and held it, then I was just taking this long, it's just scalping this long for the trade. All right. Now we look at a weekly chart here. Okay. So this is what we need to hold is this 306 level. Okay, there's your 8-day. That's going to be very key. If not, we can come back and retest, okay, that 100-day. But yesterday, you notice that when it came all the way down, or not yesterday, but this week, came all the way down, you've held that nice 100 SMA here. Okay, so that's going to be the key. Took a while, but we got above it last week, and now we're holding it, which is very good on the retest. That's very good. Now, we need to hold this 306. That's going to be very key. If not, we can come right back down and test that 287 level. But what we have here for a high is that 313 level. This is where we're looking here is that 314 level. And we come on top of that 319. Then we can come all the way up to that 333 level. That would be just above your 100-day on your 21-day. And then we have your 50-day right above it. So you have a lot of resistance going on up here. But again, as long as we can break this downtrend situation and hold that 8-day, we got a good shot at this running up. Another thing I like about this is see this MACD, you're way at the bottom. That's got plenty of room to run. You're only sitting at 46 on a weekly. That can be a nice, good run here in natural gas. The thing about it is you have to close above this 50-day. Then we can go to the next level, okay? Now, if you can't, it's going to come flying down, and then we got to watch that 2.93 level. That's going to be very critical. You need to hold it. Now, remember, the EI report will be out today at 10:30 for natural gas and crude oil at 11 p.m. So let's just see if we can get a little trading action going on here, okay, in the crude and in the natural gas. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading, and we'll take a look at some stocks and see what's going on. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.